everybody, it's Leo. I'm back. Finally, it's been about almost a month, I think, since my last video, and I'm back now. Back in the saddle, so to speak. Just had to get some things clear my head, get myself together. So, anyway, back today to do another Metaphysics 101 lesson. And today's lesson is going to focus on the zodiac of Cancer. As I've said before, the things that I'm saying are general statements. Not every sign is the same. Not every person born with this sign is the same as what I'm giving. So these are general statements. Before I go deeply into it, though, I want to give a shout out to someone who I feel is very special. She is and was someone that I emulated or wanted to emulate for a long, long time. And actually, it's funny, me and her were the same height. And she's been very special to me. She's been more of a mother than my own mother. And she took me in and kind of took me under her wing, and her lovely family have supported me through this whole thing. And I wanted to give her a shout out. I wanted to just pay tribute to her for a little while. I wanted to give a shout out to my friend, my sister, my mother, Megan Wellsbacher, aka Silver Wells. So, Megan, if you're watching, aka Silver, as people know you, if you're watching, this one's for you, my fellow Cancer sister. So, love you. Okay, now, the time of Cancer. The time of Cancer occurs between June 20th and July 21st on the Western calendar. On the Sanskrit calendar, it occurs between July 15th and August 15th. Now, the Hindu name, or the Sanskrit name, which is what I actually just meant, the Sanskrit name for Cancer is Kaada. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I am not, I truly apologize. Okay. Cancer is the fourth sign of the zodiac. It rules the fourth house. Its ruling planet is the moon. It is a positive introverted sign, and it is one of the four cardinal signs of the zodiac. Now, the positive introverted, it also is a feminine sign as well. But the positive introverted, feminine, masculine, mutual, cardinal, fixed, I'm going to go into those after this series is completed, and I'm going to tell you what actually all that means, because even for me, as I was doing the research, I didn't know what that meant. So, I know, right? So I'm going to go into that deeper, but I'll do it in later videos. Okay, the symbol of Cancer, as we know, is the crab. And, you know, I think a lot of us, especially myself, I've often wondered, where does that come from? Like, where do we get the crab, you know? And it turns out we get it from, actually, according to Roman or Greek mythology, either one, it actually comes about through a myth concerning Hercules and one of his 12 labors. When fighting the Hydra, Hercules was actually, the crab was sent to him as a distraction because Hera, which was Hercules' stepmother, she really didn't like him too much. So she said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to send a crab after him. And so she did. And instead of him being distracted, what he did was he just basically kicked the crab up into the sky. And that's how the constellation of Cancer and the symbol of Cancer, the crab, came into play, came into being. Okay. Cancers are known as the mothers of the zodiac, which means if you happen to be a Cancer or if you know of a Cancer person, they tend to be very nurturing, very protective, motherly, almost in a fatherly kind of way as well. They also make the best hosts and hostesses because they really try to make you feel at home. Let's see. When it comes to careers, Cancers do well in these fields: nursing, real estate agent, any kind of naval work, anything to do with, marine biology or anything of that nature, the theater, and Also, they do well in things like, believe it or not, real estate. So, really and truly, when it comes to careers, though, cancers can fit into any job because if you look at their element, the elements of water, if you look at it, what does water normally do? It flows. So cancers can flow into really any kind of career and do well. But in terms of if you happen to be a cancer, those would be some careers I would definitely suggest looking into. Okay, now, some general characteristics of cancers. And like I said, these are just general statements. Not everyone's the same. But some general characteristics of cancers. They are very friendly and sociable people. They have a lot of good intention, especially when it comes to helping other people. And they're very persistent. When it comes to something that they want, they go after it. They don't really beat around the bush when it comes to that. On the flip side, though, cancers can be very changeable. They can be very moody. They are somewhat, at times, overly emotional. And they have issues with letting go of the past. And also, when it comes to their moods, they can also be a bit super sensitive as well. Cancers, because of their moody nature, they really make the best psychics. They make the best, intuitive types of people because they feel first and think later. They go with their emotions, which necessarily isn't a bad thing. If you learn to kind of get it under wraps, you can use it to your advantage. Okay, now, I'm going to move on into some favorites of cancers. And, maybe some things that you can kind of jot down if you know a cancer buddy or if you haven't been a cancer yourself. Now, I'm going to go into the favorite colors. Favorite colors of cancers, of course, any kind of blue, but especially cobalt blue, electric blue, spring green, or seafoam green, and of course silver, which is the color of the moon. Now, favorite metal, silver or aluminum. If you happen to have like a silver bracelet or a silver ring or something, that would be good to wear. That's actually very lucky if you have to be a cancer. Favorite flower, any kind of nocturnal flower, things like water lilies, any kind of flower that blooms at night that would do really well for a cancer person. Okay. Favorite number 2, which is the number of the moon. And it fits right well with cancer, very well actually. So it's a very lucky number. So all you lotto folks, if you can be a cancer, put 2 in there somewhere. That may help you out a little bit. I'm not saying you're going to win. That may help you. Now that I've gotten the favorites kind of tucked away, I'm going to move on into the relationship and physical health factors of cancers. Now, when it comes to relationships, cancers tend to be a mix of, very tender, romantic, very sentimental, very loving. But on one hand, they can be very tough, almost possessive in a lot of ways. And they have the most retentive memories ever. They don't really forget anything, especially if you've done them wrong or a slight has been done to them. They can easily point it out. So that's one thing about a cancer. You really have to kind of be on your P's and Q's because they never really forget anything. They can be your best friend, but they also can be your worst enemy. So you have to really watch it with cancer people. And I know I actually dated a cancer guy, and it was interesting. He was a sweet guy, though, but anyway, whole other video. Now, when it comes to the health of a cancer, cancers need to look out for these areas that are considered vulnerable. Your things having to do with blood flow, your breast or your chest, your sexual organs, and also things having to do with circulation and your reflexes. So if you get things like arthritis, if you get things like carpal tunnel, things of that nature, that can be an issue for you as well. So I would say if you're having issues with those, get them checked out if you can. And then if you're not, and you're going to be in Cancer, get those areas checked, you know, make sure they're together, make sure they're well on that arena. Well, I think that's about it for today. I will be back next week, and next week we're going to do me. That's right. It's going to be all about the Leos. So Leos are definitely going to be in the house next week. I cannot wait to do that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, until next time, I love you all, and I thank you very much for tuning in and watching. And remember, if you haven't loved, then you haven't lived. Okay? Love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.